You know what I think is one of the greatest things that my mom did when I was growing up that she would probably get some shit for nowadays? She let me know why I was being made fun of and when I was being a weirdo. Now, we do need to start this off by saying that my mother never thought that it was okay to make fun of someone. She still doesn't to this day. She thinks bullies are bullshit and there's no reason to make fun of someone, let alone a kid. I was an extremely heavily bullied kid, and she never excused what other people said or did to me, but she did make sure that I walked around the world informed. Now, growing up, picking up on social cues wasn't always my greatest strength, but I was good at pattern recognition. No, I don't have autism, I'm actually late diagnosed ADHD. Now, if I was being a particular little weirdo, or if I was drawing extra special attention to myself, she would make sure I knew, and she would always say and she would always believe that there was no reason that anyone should ever pick on you for these kind of things. There is no reason that, you shouldn't have friends who can share these kinds of things with you. No one should make you feel bad about who you are, and if people make you feel bad about who you are, then they are bad people, and you should not want them to be your friend. But just so you know, this is why it's happening. You can choose to continue to behave this way, or you can choose to not. One, you're going to be staying more true to yourself. Your life may be a little harder, and we love that. We think it's great. Or you can choose to dial things down a bit and things might get a little easier. Again, your choice, entirely up to you, but you deserve to know what those options are and then how to go about them. I'll give you two examples that I remember clear as day in my head. First off, I was an extremely gifted student, and it left some social gaps because a lot of kids couldn't relate to me and how my brain worked. Mixed ADHD and hyperlexia, very interesting. Now, I remember in the 5th grade, my teacher would read off, when she was passing back tests, who got A's on the test, and she would specifically highlight the kids who got 100% or higher. And I was always the 100% kid. There were a few others, but it was almost always guaranteed. Morgan got 100 on this test. She got an A+. And I used to get made fun of for that. And I remember I went up and told my mom that, how I hated how the kids were making fun of me for being smart, because being smart's supposed to be a good thing. Why are they treating it like it's a bad thing? It's awful. And it makes me feel bad. And she looks at me, she goes, well, honey, they don't dislike you because you're smart. A few of them did, let's be real. And I can tell you exactly which one of those kids were and how that anti-intellectual mindset carried them off in their lives. I keep track of the kids who I went to school with. It's perks of living in a small town. Perks-ish. But she goes, it's not they're making fun of you because you're smart. It's because you're always talking about school things and stuff that and smart stuff. And that's not a bad thing. It's just how you go about these things. Well, no, they make fun of me because I'm smart. No, not necessarily. There were other smart kids in your class that don't get made fun of. What about Rachel? Rachel was one of the more liked, one of the more popular kids in my grade. She was in my class. And she made the same exact grades that I did, but she didn't get made fun of. And I remember my mom's like, well, why do you think she doesn't get made fun of? And I'm like, I don't know. She's prettier than me. I was an ugly kid. I was an ugly duckling. We had a rough patch for a long time. I can show you all the pictures. My mom goes, no, it's because she's not talking about this kind of stuff all the time. You can either find your friends who are into this kind of stuff that you can talk to, or you can dial things back a little bit and maybe you won't catch as much slack. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I just think you should know why it's happening. And I made my decision to be my little nerdy self and just have my little nerdy friends. Did I get made fun of? Yes, but I knew that my options, were to dial it down or to be myself, and either or were okay, and I could make that decision on what I wanted to do, and I chose to be a little nerd. And then another one that happened, and I remember this one pissed off my mom because it was an adult who did it. I was in the 8th grade, and I remember I had gone to some little trinket store, like a dollar store or something, and I had bought, one of my girlfriends and I, these chokers, and they had little studs and spikes on them. We were little badass emo kids. And my friend had slept over at my house the night before, and then the next day we had gone to one of my siblings' volleyball games that my mom, was the coach for their team. And I remember we were walking around, I think we walked from the stands that were in the gym outside to the hallway to go get a drink of water. This was in my middle school at the time that they were having these volleyball games on the weekends. And there was a woman I remember who kept kind of looking at us, but every time I looked at her, I'm like, hey, what's going on? I had no idea what was going on. She would kind of look away, and I remember thinking it was strange. And my mom, in between the two games, I remember walked over to me and she looks at me, she goes, do you know why that woman's staring at you? And I'm still like, no, why? I don't know. And she goes, it's because of that collar you're wearing. Your collar wasn't a collar, it was a choker, but some people would think that looks crazy. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm 13. Why is she staring at me for what I wear? I'm not exposing anything. I'm not wearing anything vulgar. And she goes, no, I know. I promise you if you wear that to school, because I bought this at this necklace. My girlfriend and I were both had one. Right, like after school, we went out, I think, to the mall or something. And my mom goes, if you wear that, more people will look at you and more kids may say something. I want you to be aware. Now, wear whatever you want. No one should be making you uncomfortable about something you wear. No one should make you feel bad. No one should be staring. No one should be saying anything, especially an adult to a teenager. But just so you know, that is why this woman is staring at you. I don't want you to wonder what's going on. You need to know. She's staring at you because of your necklace. And I've heard her make a little comments. She's like talking to someone about it that she's sitting with. Turns out that woman was the mother of one of the kids that my mom coached. And this woman had no idea that I was the coach's daughter. And oh boy, did my mama have some words for that lady later. She wanted to make sure that I did not walk through the world oblivious to how people were perceiving me, and she wanted to make sure that I knew that I had options and that it was okay to be exactly me, exactly who I was. But if I was able to pick up one time, if I was able to figure out why someone was being rude or mean or bullying me or being all sorts of awful, then I would be able to figure it out more times after that, and I could go about that the way that I wanted to. While it did hurt being made fun of, I think what honestly hurt me more was when I didn't know why people were making fun of me, when I didn't understand it. And I think more parents need to give their kids an understanding of what is going on in their world and why people may be treating them the way they are. Is it okay to ever treat someone horribly? No. Is it okay to bully someone? No. Kids need to not be shitbags. But kids also deserve to understand why it is that people are going after them, if there is a reason, because not knowing is the worst part.